Dendi's playing mid Lina. This is not a hero we see a lot right now, but I do think it's one of the single best heroes in lane against Death Prophet, which is going to be played by Kits in the mid lane from Felt. So a potential lane win there for Bait to start things off. And secondly, don't underestimate minus armor strats. They can still be quite fierce sometimes. You have Acid Spray, you have the Weaver Swarm, and you're playing that together with a right-click carry in Monkey King and a like pseudo right-click mid-hero in Lina. So if you are going for these ball up and try to push towers moves, you need to be a little bit careful not to just get overwhelmed by single target damage as Felt. That said, there is, there are some asterisks here. How do you start fights exactly? Is what's Funnick gonna buy? Is he buying Medallion Blink? Or what's your entry into fights looking like? And also, are you ready to defend your towers when it happens inevitably 10 minutes in that Beastmaster, Death Prophet, and Undying show up to your doorstep? So I don't know. I just don't want to write Bait off because I can see this kind of strategy, if the lanes go well, actually just get overpoweringly strong on physical damage pretty quickly. If the lanes go poorly, though, they're kind of doomed. So you can't afford that.
Yeah, you're talking about minus armor strats with this arc. Like, that reminds me, back in SCA, maybe a year and a half ago, there was a strat where they went Alchemist pos 4 and Venge pos 3. I believe it was Fnatic. And man, I used to make so much fun of it the first time we saw it, and holy crap, that thing was strong. It was ridiculous. Anyway, though, going back to the Lina pick for a moment here from Bait, my main concern, right? Like you kind of mentioned on the panel during our first series, but this Lina hero, it's been nerfed pretty heavily. Yeah, even though it's in the mid lane. Do you think maybe Dendi's got some new item build up on up his sleeve, or like what's the purpose of this Lina this game?
So I would say that I think the version of Lina that makes it better mid than carry now is the fact that you don't have to rely on the Fiery Soul and attack speed build, but you can deviate from it and go for like a cast-oriented strategy. The thing is, I just don't feel like you do that with this lineup, right? You're playing with a minus armor strat, so surely you want to go the physical route regardless, right?
Right.
So then you are just flat out playing a nerfed version of the same Lina from previous patch. Yeah, I think we're just going to see standard stuff here out of mid. We're probably going to see the Falcon Blade into potential Dragon Lance, and then some sort of Travels BKB, Daedalus maybe. Straightforward. I will say though, like the panel also mentioned this, if it goes late, this Radiant lineup is actually really strong. Right. So Felt do have a little bit of timer on them, I would say. Some of their heroes will fall off quite a bit later on. Good glimpse there onto Fade. He's in trouble.
He certainly is. Fade.
He's dead.
Yeah, Jingu Mastery. Body blocks there from Lowdyne. He is going to go down. Solji, nothing he could really do on the Rubik to try and help out. So a fantastic start already. Stonebank able to secure first blood. And the thing is, for Stonebank, it does feel like he's going to have the freest game of his life. As top lane, Albino Zebra going to drop as well. Funnick able to pick up a second kill, though he will eventually go down to the zombies. And now Stominant, he has no Sakuchi.
He's okay, though. His Sticks and Fairy.
Oh, Silence is there.
Fairy, and now he's going to Shikuchi. Yeah, okay. I mean, they forced everything out of him, but he is... Actually, this is kind of a blessing in disguise, because Hit Immune missed a full creep wave chasing over here, and now there's going to be a double wave pushing the way of the Radiant. So honestly, this trade for Funnick for the enemy support is really good.
Yeah.
Because of what he ends up showing up for now. I don't know if I like this Acid Spray, though. I feel like this kind of mitigates what he just enabled for himself. If he just lets this wave push, he could have got the equilibrium close to his own offlane tower and just sat there safely with Stomanen just breaking pulls from happening. But instead, now we're going to equalize the lane situation again here. So, in my opinion, a bit of a wasted opportunity there to just get some free farm. How many creeps did he get there out of that double wave? Maybe 3? He could have had many more if he just let the wave push. But in the meantime, there was a kill bottom.
There was a kill bottom.
Loading killed the Rubik of Solji.
Yeah, Solji. Not having the greatest time. I mean, it's a pretty tough lane, right? Like Monkey King Disruptor with a Beastmaster Rubik just does not feel good as top lane. Double stun was there from Funnick, but it's not really going to amount to too much.
I gotta say, I'm just so curious to see itemization here. It's very... If we took a time machine, Weaver would buy Medallion 10 out of 10 games here, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's amazing for Alchemist to play with, it's amazing for the Lina to play with, and the Monkey King.
Uh-oh. Speaking of the Alchemist, Funnick gonna get chased down. He's gonna go down and... Oh, that's tough. Albino Zebra found both of them. Ouch.
What?
Because I think the aphotic shield exploded and they didn't account for the damage, at least on the Weaver.
Yeah, that was not pretty. All right. Well, fortunately for Bait, the other two lanes are doing great. So they're okay. That was I'm going to say a bit of a blunder is probably an understatement there, but mistakes happen. Maybe they can kill Solji again here, though. There's Jingu stacks.
Well, they're going to try. Solji, lift up is there just in time. Stonebank not going for the boundless quite yet. Still thinking about it. Glimpse is there. We'll get a two-man boundless now, and Fade can't really help out. Has to back off the one.
He might die. He's dead.
He might just be dead. Kinetic field does land. Fade going to go down. Stonebank able to pick up a second on the monkey. And this is really darn strong. Like, the fact that Stonebank has already found 3 kills, died no times, and is CSing so well, like, this is a really strong start for Bait.
Yeah, they get a bit of a rebuttal here. Top finding the kill on the wait, he was there alone with no one dying next to him?
Story of my life.
This is a bit, yeah, well, I can't speak for that, but puzzling.
Yeah. It's classic, right? Your POS 5 wants to go pull the lane, and your POS 1 just like, no, but I have to hit this crate, and then just dies, and then gets on voice comms and blames you.
I mean, at this point, the top lane is actually even, and that's a really good result for Weaver Alk when you're playing against Undying. Also, this should be a theoretical amazing lane for a Baton, because the enemy hero you're laning against is a melee hero with bad armor. So you just keep trading with him with Curse of Avernus, and you win. But Bait equalizing this lane is very good news because they are inherently just matchup favored in the other two, as we are seeing. I think bottom is going better than it has any right to, so that's just good news for them. Fade being level 3.5 against Stonebank's level 5. It's not fun to be a Beastmaster in these dark times in bottom lane. Dendi's hit level 6. So any rotation here could lead to something, and as they talked about on the panel, that was something Moose did very well for Bait, was enable Dendi. Looks like this time around it's going to be Lodine trying to set it up with a glimpse.
Yeah, perfect glimpse out on Kids. Problem is the Spirit Siphon's going to be there, and Dendi, maybe a little bit low on mana, doesn't want to go for the stun out. So instead, Lodine is going to get caught out here on the Disruptor. We'll try for a TP play, and will not make it.
He might have made it if he sticked first.
Oh, unlucky.
Right. Yeah, it's a good kill. Dendi finds a random zebra in the river. Went for a drink. I was gonna say he went grazing, but that's not what that means. What do you call it with water? Truffing? I don't know. I don't speak English.
We don't have zebras in Australia, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think.
you never know with my country, let me tell you.
I thought you were going to say you never go outside, so you wouldn't see one.
Well, there's that too. There's that. 7-5, 1k advantage. Bait still well and truly in the lead. And I mean, top 2 CS right now is Dendi and Stonebank. Like, you really couldn't have asked for a better start, though. I do wonder if Felt has a timing where they start to overtake the mid lane.
Zebra's in trouble.
He's very deep right now. They will take him out. Problem is the Tombstone is still going, but Dendi doesn't seem too threatened by it. More so, Kid's just chasing him down. Roshan, no, he's not going to go for it. So they still find the mid laner. And I suppose you'd have to call that worth for the side of Felt.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially if Kits gets to use this exorcism for anything else. But I really like that glimpse from Lodine, just buying some valuable seconds in the mid wave, forcing him away, and that means the Exo will almost be over when he does finally now connect on the tower. He'll still expend the glyph. But yeah, overall, pretty solid for Felt to get that trade.
Yeah, it's a very nice little plays from Bait, but like
Beastmaster has to walk back to base. Man.
Why?
It is.
Oh.
I mean, you say why? You could try playing in his spot, and then we'll see how it goes. Like,
yeah, it's fair.
It's not easy.
Lodine.
Yeah.
The Soldier's still fine. Dendi's going to try and intercept here, but he needs to be a little bit careful. He will pick off the Rubik at the very least. In fact, now Stominan does rotate as well on the Weaver.
All right, you know what? Everybody forgot about Dre and Lina with Max Dragonslave. All these players run into Lina like, wow, it just died? Because usually she has to hit you a lot of times, but Dendi with the spell burst, you know, just throws out a Dragonslave and a Laguna Blade and kills Rubik from full health. He just walked next to her and just died.
I didn't know you were a rap fan, Cinder.
Oh, I am.
Oh, well, there you go. Look at that. Speaking of rap, I believe Dendi had a photo up on social media on Twitter with a Tupac t-shirt. So Tupac,
nice.
excuse me.
Yeah.
I know how upset people are going to get about that one. Solji, going to get caught out here on the Rubik. is going to go down eventually. Dendi pick up another kill for himself in the leader.
Stealing this whole stack too,
That's a
man.
lot of
This
gold.
is so big. My goodness.
Ooh, yummy.
Yeah, he is going to be rolling in the dough here.
And you kind of appreciate the build-up. Like, no kind of Maelstrom build-up here for Dendi. Just goes straight into the BKB next up. And, well, it's like you said, like, he's got so much magic damage now with the Max Dragon Slave. Can still farm if he needs to, as low died. Now he's trapped again here on the Disruptor, trying to go for some D wards, but may get punished. The Laguna does come in. Dendi is going to take down Albino Zebra on his own. Lodine still juking them out. Kit is trying his best to catch up. He'll finally get him, but at what cost? Oh, it's too expensive.
I mean, Bates flat out just owning them, right? The fact that they're ahead 3k gold minute 10 with this lineup is so good news for them. Keep in mind, we were talking about how their lineup needs to be able to weather the storm and defend their towers and wants to go late. And if this is the kind of start they have with an offlane Alchemist being able to just stand there and farm, the other two lanes doing great, and the supports being very involved. And the Weaver is such an X factor as a support. I actually think this hero is almost criminally underrated as a support. It's just that it has certain weaknesses, but from my perspective, I've already overcome them. I think Weaver just flat out, for the most part, just sucks for the first 5 minutes against a lot of supports, but they've bridged that gap. Now this is going to be an amazing utility hero that's going to give vision. He's buying Urn into Meteor Hammer. He's going to max out the Swarm, do tons of, give tons of info in fights, do damage over time, and can obviously also scale and get useful utility items for the team, push waves. This hero is great. This is is this just a dead mid tower? Dendi has double damage.
Oh boy.
They don't have glyph. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is gone. Stomanen can just earn the Disruptor and tank the tower. Doesn't need to. Doesn't want to use his earns on a pesky support Disruptor with a mount with 2 heads.
Imagine that.
Yep.
Never help the supports.
No. That's a pretty good advice in general. Just leave us alone.
13 to 7, 4k advantage, and look at this.
Kit's gonna get glimpsed.
He will get glimpsed indeed. Stominant will commit his Urn charges on him, but the problem is they don't really have the backup. Dendi's not too close. They're just kind of messing around with the DP, it feels like. Top lane? Hidden Immune, a bit of a chase, but Funnick will be just fine.
Funnick's close to getting the tower as
Wow.
well. Just constantly pushing out the wave with Soul Ring Acid Spray, and this wave has a siege creep. Now he's going to tank the tower with his ult. He is actually getting this tower. They are not defending with any additional heroes, and Funnick can easily handle this on his own. And now he's using it as a bait.
Oh boy, Hidden Immune, he's already lost his borrowed time. Stonebank is literally just hitting the tier 1, and now once the borrowed time's over, they'll just stun lock him. Hidden Immune
Good steal.
does have the pig stick. We'll be able to walk away with the Aphotic Shield, so now they'll try into Solji instead, and they should have Solji no problem. At the very least, he does get his Abaddon out of there, so it is a positive kind of situation for Felt, I suppose, if you look at the brighter side of things.
Yes, you're finding the... I don't know what kind of brightness you're finding right now. It's a very dark room with a very tiny little... The tiniest little pearl in the corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Surrounded by sheet.
You know the thing, you know the thing was...
It's not a good game state, I'll be honest with you. This does not look good for Felt.
The thing was as well, like during that team fight, you questioned why nobody was defending the top tier 1.
Mm-hmm.
Fade was just taking the ancient stacks along with two of his supports, basically.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, it's understandable. He kind of wants to recover his game, right? Because his start was so atrocious. Nice play here from Stomanen. He's baiting them to chase him into the trees, and then he time-lapses all the way back, removes the dust, and Shikuchi's away. And this just means Kits is left completely unprotected mid. They grab that kill, and everything is back to farmland. Medallion of Courage, by the way, was picked up by Funnick. I figured either he or the Weaver were going to get one, right?
makes sense.
And they put it on the Elk, so more minus armor. They could Roche very quickly, by the way, this Radiant lineup. Don't forget, the last remaining advantage of being Radiant since the last 3 years is Roshan. And they do have a good lineup for it, so... Well, Dendi might just kill Solji here.
Uh-oh, Solji,
Oh.
he does have Sakuchi, he's gonna be okay. Meanwhile, Lodine, there's a little glimpse back there on Hidden Immune. Funnick will throw the stun out, but that's gonna be about it, as Solji is still messing around, maybe just trying to soak some XP here off Dendi.
Yeah.
He's getting away with it, not much he can do to stop him. Or is there? Ooh!
That was actually kind of close. And they came in with the dust, so...
Tumblr's now onto the high ground.
Oh, he centered him!
Oh, low tide!
He was like, wait, why does this guy keep playing around here? He must have a ward. He didn't find the ward. He found the guy. The ward is still here. That's going to stick.
That's a very expensive ward he found, that's for sure. So, and he does miss out on the observer, but who cares?
It's okay. It doesn't seem like Felt's lineup can really invade, right?
Get it immune?
Maybe Beastmaster can. All right, that's...
Oh, nice glimpse. This is why you don't want to give the Disruptor over to bait. Like, Lodine is so good just being in the right position every single time. And Lancia Pos 1 Abaddon going down. Beta just smothering them right now as they go in for more. Albino Zebra also dropping as well as Storminen. So they do get a Weaver for all of this. But it's just such a disastrous game state for the side of Felt. Everyone's fallen behind. And, you know, when you look at the draft of bait, considering how great of a start they've had, it just feels like they don't need to slow down.
No, absolutely not. And you might look at the lineup without the perspective of the game in mind. You're like, oh, Alchemist still needs to farm more. This is so greedy. This is not a farming Alch.
No.
He's just going to get his dagger now, and he's going to keep making moves with... That's what's cool about their lineup. So many of the heroes can just work in tandem, right? Alchemist can kill together with Lina. Alchemist can kill together with Monkey King. He can kill together with Disruptor. He can honestly kill together with anyone in a duo, right? As long as they're not going on the Abaddon, I think most heroes will die to him +1. They do.
Static Storm.
He got his combo down, so that's a trade.
Yeah, it's one at least. Beta not allowing Felt to get anything that's positive for themselves here, just always trading at the very minimum.
I'd love for them to just go Roche. I feel like Beastmaster is just pinned down here. They have a ward seeing him a lot of the time, so Funnick could just Acid Spray out this wave and then leave the lane, and they could head toward that Roshan area, but maybe they feel like it's too big of a risk. Uh-oh. Stomanet.
Oopsie daisies.
Yep. He's being greedy. He's going to live, though.
Sakuchi away. And, well, yeah, I mean, it's a Weaver. You're not going to catch up. That's partially the problem against this hero.
Did he stack their hard camp and then start farming it with Meteor Hammer?
I mean...
Or was it already stacked and he tried to steal it? Because if he stacked it himself, that's about... You can't really play any greedier than that as a support than stacking the enemy jungle and then farming it. There's very few heroes I would recommend that on. That list is probably Primal Beast.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the one hero you do that on, maybe.
Is Weaver Meteor Hammer actually a thing? Like, the fact that he can just cut lanes like this is...
I think it's pretty neat on this hero, honestly. Because the thing about Weaver as a support is you throw out the Swarm, and then what's your next play in the fight, right?
Right.
It's to use utility items and to just try to pincer supports in the backline and be annoying. With this, I believe you can activate Meteor Hammer and then immediately Sukuchi, so then you can't be targeted, right? So that's one play you have. But it's also just all the downtime that is happening during the game. You keep yourself scaling, you push waves, you damage towers. It's great. I think it's a very... Oh, I mean, look at this Roche. Literally just vanishing with that double damage lean and 200 minus armor.
That's so rough.
Okay, let's do some math here. You ready? That's my favorite part of Dota.
Go on.
It isn't. I'm just going to say that. Okay, so let's count some minus armor, okay? Monkey King has -6 on Deso and -3 on Orb of Corrosion. So that's -9.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Alchemist with Medallion for another -5, so that's -14. Acid Spray for -7, so that's -21. Weaver has the Swarm level 3. Somebody died. Not important, we're doing math.
Another person dies, never mind.
If everything lands, they have about like -35 armor right now on the target. And that effectively is like, I don't know how much damage Monkey King is going to do. He can like one-shot people with Boundless at that point almost. So yeah, it's all coming together. I do feel like it's worth pinpointing or highlighting that this is a big part of Bait's strategy that just hasn't mattered yet. But now that they're ahead, you're going to see the wonders of playing Death Prophet against 1 million minus armor and how you cannot go in with your ulti on. You're just going to get slaughtered in 4 hits by Monkey King and Lina. So he effectively can't really play his hero, actually, until he gets more armor. And you're seeing the problem, he's deviating, right? He went Atos, which, first of all, I don't know if I agree with that in general. But he was starting to build BKB, and now he's going plate mail. He's like, okay, even if I have BKB, I actually can't fight. Like, they're just going to drop all their minus armor and kill me in BKB.
Thank you very much for the quick math, Sindri.
You're very welcome.
Always appreciate it.
Yes. Can you recite it for a test tomorrow?
I can see you as a math teacher.
Thanks.
That wasn't a compliment.
That's a great compliment.
Bait.
Uh-oh. Lowdine?
Smoke broken. Lowdine immediately caught out.
That's a Monkey King stun and a half.
Yeah, it certainly was. Lowdine is going to go down as Stonebank. Still trying to deal with the Tombstone, but he's in massive trouble. That's the Aegis gone. Still, they don't have the Tombstone now, so Albino, he will drop. Kits also in trouble, but the Roar is out. Fade will lock down the MK. They've got another. This could be the team fight for Felt to finally turn this game around. There's no chase for more. Stominum, the only one nearby at this point, is the Weaver, but he's a little bit too challenging to catch. So they'll get away with some pretty nice kills here, the side of Feld, and maybe an objective or two.
Yeah, there are multiple things that needed to happen for that to be a success, so Felt should be very, very happy with that outcome. They find Disruptor and kill him instantly before he gets any spells off. Monkey King completely misses his stun, and his Aegis gets no value at all. So that was pretty much perfect. But now maybe they bit over more than they could chew here.
Yeah, I mean, Stomina just stuck around with the Meteor Hammer, and yeah, they just find another.
Dendi doesn't even have a damage item yet. He still killed that Lina in like...
minus armor.
10 hits?
You did the math. It's a lot of minus armor.
Yeah, okay, now everything was kind of wasted, right? Now we're back to where we started with those 2 deaths. It's like nothing happened.
It's tough, man. It's a really tough game for Feld, and it just every time there's a light at the end of the tunnel, like there's like a boulder collapses in front of that exit, and it's just Feld. I mean, they've got to keep reaching, keep finding something. At the very least, Hidden Immune is starting to catch up in terms of the net worth board, but it just feels like there's just too much more that's necessary for the Abaddon at this point to actually make a bit of a comeback.
Yeah, so I think Carry Abaddon is really interesting, and you see a lot of more teams experiment with it, but I don't think he has good matchups this game. I don't think the hero is good against Lina. She's just outranging you, and she has really good movement speed, so your chances of getting on top of her, she can still counterplay you, right? Monkey King can beat you in a fist fight.
Yep.
And arguably, Weaver is hard for you to catch. Weaver also has a Yules now, which makes him able to break the silence should that ever happen. And Alchemist is really tanky. So I think it's a tough game for Hidden Immune to just convert his net worth into teamfight impact until he probably needs Blink Dagger and Basher before he really starts shining. They found Lowdine here up top. He is very dead.
He certainly is. I mean, yes, he's
gonna take them a little time. He'll still die. He'll get there.
Kinetic field. He's got nothing else. He had no more stick charges to throw out, so Lowdine does go down. That's your pos 5 going down. I mean, it kind of concerns me how long it took them to take him out, but at least they do find it. As well, the Ancient Black Dragon now in trouble in the mid lane, as that minus armor obviously also kind of hurts it, but it is going to be just fine. BKB now up on the MK, so this is where I think Bait might feel just a hell of a lot stronger. Like Stonebank, yeah, sure, you can still lock him down with the Roar, but you can't get as much damage out in the time you have.
They can't kill him if he has ulti on. Then the armor is way too much. Like the Death Prophet ult is not going to cut it, and Abaddon does not want to stand in the Monkey King ring and fight. So, yeah, that's effectively it. If BKB is running on Stonebank, he should feel very safe. I'm very curious what Weaver is going to build, because there is the possibility of going Ags here on the Weaver. Oh, hang on, Hidden Immune.
Yeah,
they have
he's
Glimpse.
a big target. Hidden Immune, stun. Oh, that's a great boundless. Oh boy, forward time was popped already. Hidden Immune, he's going to try and run.
Back, surely.
The glimpse is there. They will bring him right back into the loving arms of Stonebank, and with the kinetic field, he's just locked in. The Wukong's command. Funnick will take him down. Soldier's going to go for a bit of a run, but it won't really matter. He is going to drop, and Bait continue to just dominate this game. It's felt they are still reaching for an answer, but my God, their arms are nowhere near long enough.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Maybe if they farm a bit, they could buy longer arms so that they can find more items. It's some games, things just go wrong, you know? And this is just one of those games where the first 5 minutes for Felt just did not go according to plan. The side lanes did not... I mean, the top lane went okay, but the fact is, ultimately they drew, and I don't think that's good enough for that lane, and the bottom lane was a total travesty, so... A big part of what needed to happen for them didn't happen in the early stages, and Bait are just... they're just reaping the rewards of a well-played early game where the lanes went well, and they just keep rolling with the punches, and... Their lineup is so scary at this point because nobody is safe on the map. Like, anybody gets caught by any of these stuns, Blink stun from Alchemist, a Monkey King stun from the trees. If Abaddon isn't nearby to save you, there's a good chance you just get killed in that one stun. because the damage is so overwhelming. And even if you do get away this glimpse, you know, it's a lot of nice things. And there's the first big damage item now coming out on Dendi. I don't know if you have the same bug as I do, but I see his base move speed and base damage for some reason, but it's claiming he has 340 move speed and 123 plus 41 right now for
Excellent.
me. I think that's wrong. Okay, that was some good damage.
Absolutely. Soldier is absolutely deleted here from this game, as they are going to try and at least go onto Funnick, but he's got the chemical rage going, so he's just fine.
Yeah.
Unstable concoction.
And Kids cannot pursue, because if he walks up that high ground, he just dies. The damage is going to overwhelm him very, very easily, even with the plate mail.
It's an incredibly hard game for Felt. Like, I'd be very, very impressed if they make a comeback here as bottom lane. Dominant going to show up, and Bait, they just seem more than happy to take a fight. Like, I thought maybe they commit for the mid-tier 2 tower, but they're happy to TP back towards the bot lane because they just want to crush the side of Felt.
They're finding a glimpse here.
They certainly are. Hidden Immune giving the vision over. Or rather, Stominant was. Hidden Immune is the victim, I was meant to say, as he does get caught out by the glimpse. Wukong's command again. Borrowed time is going to allow him to escape for a little bit, but the chase is continuing. Can he get out? I don't know if he really can. Roar is there. They have at least caught Lowdyne, so he will go down onto the Disruptor, and Hidden Immune is still able to run out of there just fine. Still Dendi is on the chase as long with Stominant, as they will get a Yule Scepter off onto the DP now. Kids still in danger, but no, he'll turn around, try to go back in onto Dendi, but there's a double stun from Funnick. Lock them down. Now a Light Strike Array. They are just gonna melt. Oh, it's disgusting. And Fade, he's out of there, but what does it matter?
I don't know if you would agree with this, but I feel like there's just some, okay, Funnick is having fun. There's just something, I feel like there's something very beautiful about watching strategies that are about one key mechanic, right? Like, this is a minus armor strategy. 2 days ago, we saw the healing strategy that was run by nouns, right? These like amplification strategies where the heroes itemize and really play around each other in one element it's really cool to see when they work. At the same time, they obviously do have the weakness that if you crack the code, you beat the whole lineup at once, right? Because they all kind of do the same thing. But the way this is overwhelming the Dire it's just kind of cool to see heroes played in a less common manner, right? You're not used to, I mean, okay, last patch you were used to seeing Lina 4-shot people, but it's the way it's happening in this game it's a different flavor at the very least.
Not a very nice flavor, at least for Felt, though. They might be allergic to this kind of flavor.
Tastes of death.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Spade seems like they're going to be waiting for the next Roshan. Still a minute 15 away from that respawning up. Felt, they're going to smoke up.
I like this. I mean, you're behind, right? You gotta try to take a risk here, make a move. This time at the very least you won't be facing an Aegis. If you do this later, you will, because the Aegis will go to the Radiant if you don't get involved. So they are trying to find. Missing the opener.
That is true. Roar is there. Lowdyne going to be the primary target, as they will even silence him up and try to burst him down. Wukong's command was committed, but Stoneman could not hold anyone in. So instead, they'll try to focus down the Tombstone, and they will find it. There was a buyback from Lowdyne, but that just means Feld are happy to back off now. It's kind of wasting the buyback committed here from the Disruptor.
This is still a good trade for Bait, ultimately, because Exo down and Roar down when Roche spawns is a free Roche. They can't fight. They also won't have Tombstone. Like, all of their big team fight spells are unavailable. So all Bait needs to do now is make sure to keep some sort of vision in the pit. It spawns in 15 seconds. They obviously don't know that, but it's pretty much close to maximum respawn time. So if they noted it correctly, they will find this out and have enough time to get it done. But they all left the pit. Okay, they're just going high ground. I mean, okay, this is actually an avenue for Felt. If they somehow win a fight here, they could get a Roche to boot. But winning this fight is going to be a really tough ask with what you've already expended.
Well, now they've got some hope. Like you said, it's an avenue.
Yeah.
It's a bumpy road, but...
First glyph. They're going to get another glyph.
Meteor Hammer down. Second glyph now available. Glimpse there on Hidden Immune. Just kind of force him back a little bit.
He has the DD popped. He really wants to hit the racks. I feel like the best play right now is to go Roche. Your bottom lane is on fire. Have someone take care of it. Kill the Roche in the meantime. And that does seem to be the play.
Stominant will rotate, Roshan open. The thing is, you do have the Hawk vision, but it's kind of like you just said. Without the Exo...
You can't fight here.
Yeah.
I just refuse to believe they can win this fight if Weaver rotates over now. They might not even... They're not giving up stuff like that. I mean, they're not even going to make it in time. What the hell?
Now, they did smoke up, but like you said, just not in time. Hit immune. He's running in. He's trying. Roar is there. Static Storm has been dropped, but they're trying to burst down Stonebank, who does not have the Aegis, and he is going to go down. All right. They get something for one. Dendi. Oh, Dendi's in a very awkward position now. This is precarious. Somehow they're making this one work. It's Dendi. Got stunned up. Can they get him a second time? It seems like they can. Wait, hold on a minute. Finish off the kill, boys. There we go.
Oh, I can't believe they got that outcome. That was pretty much the dream scenario. They ran out of the pit and they find the Monkey King who did not take the Aegis and they kill him first.
Wow.
That could not have gone any better for Felt. So all the stars align there and they do get something out of it. And yeah, that's the Aegis out of play. I don't know who took the shard. Looks like Weaver has a shard and Alk does. Maybe Alk got this one. I don't think he would have bought Berserk Potion. So I guess they put it on him. I mean, good for Felt. That's actually, that's huge.
That's incredible.
They are probably not getting Elena Barracks here, but they might knock on at least the tier 3. And they got a ton of gold out of that. Probably some key items coming their way. Exo popped. This is ambitious.
Oh, the face of, I believe, Stonebank. He was not very happy, let me tell you. He, some words were said. Hidden Immune. Still going. I mean, these towers, they do melt. With this Abaddon to follow up, like, it's kind of ridiculous as Kits is not backing off, but no, they will. They'll play it safe. Glimpse is there. They'll lock him down with the Boundless, but it seems like Beta now the one scared. BKB pop Kits just in case. We'll be able to TP out.
Oh, he sells his entire team when he TPs like that. If they have any way of catching more here, they will get something.
Now, Stominant is going to catch at least Hidden Immune. That's the big target.
They need a Glimpse cooldown ready. There it is.
Will be popped. Hidden Immune. Kinetic Field going to lock him in along with an Unstable Concoction. He does have the borrowed time. He's got his own BKB, so he'll TP out right away.
No Basher.
No Basher at all, so he's going to be just fine.
Stonebank opting for the Scotty. Obviously a really good item against Death Prophet to reduce that healing and keep her in place. And uh-oh, Fade. Fade is spotted. Oh, nice pathing there.
Right within the fog. He's all right.
Okay, I'll be honest. This is getting way more interesting than I thought it would. I thought Bait got through the hard part of this game, but somehow the hard part was yet to come. Now this game, it's not like a 50-50. I still think they're ahead, but that was such a big dent into their lead that this definitely is starting to look like a real possibility for Felt. Especially if Abaddon gets his next item. He's close to Basher, right?
It feels like it goes back to that high ground attempt, right? Like they got the tier 3 tower, but with the double damage, they could have just finished Roshan
They could have, exactly. So I think this is a mistake that a lot of teams, I mean, to be fair though, they didn't know Rosh had respawned, but if they had taken the perfect timer, they would know he had to respawn, right?
Yeah.
I think going for the racks there, even if you're successful, is just the wrong way to approach the situation if you think about it. You go you go for the top racks, what can happen? One of two things can happen. Either you get it, which is great, and you pull back, but then you probably don't have enough resources to Rosh. Or the worst thing that can happen is you lose the fight and you give up Rosh. Now instead, if you go kill Rosh first and don't expend any resources whatsoever, you can make the exact same play with an advantage instead, right? So like, what's the point in going high ground first? They must not have had the timer, right? I don't...
Right.
Because they knew the cooldowns weren't there. That's what prompted the push to begin with. So with the same logic, they would have had the Rosh for sure. And ultimately, they ended up, sure, they got it, but they lost it right away.
Well, it looks like Funnick's got some Ags incoming.
Yeah.
What are your predictions? Who's getting the Ags?
Probably Monkey King, I think.
Yeah?
Or Weaver. Weaver's buying his own, though. So, yeah.
There you go.
Monkey King, because, yeah, Disruptor's buying his own as well. Oh, Funnick got it, and his courier died instantly.
Oh, no!
That is not great.
Oh,
unfortunate.
no.
It's going to have to wait to deliver that one.
Oh. Boy.
Oh, I was going to say, by the way, Funnick is actually doing a really... What's the word for this? A very... He's on a very valiant quest this game to raise the win rate of Crimson Guard and Solar Crest in the same game. These two items are not being bought very much, and he's getting both of them on the same hero. I don't know if that Crimson Guard purchase is good, to be honest. Like, yeah, you're against Beastmaster, right? It's kind of nice to get some damage block, but
I guess
I just think there's better value, right? This item is still relatively expensive. He could have had the Ags for his teammates before this. He could have built himself into... He could have become a carry. He had a great game. Like, he could have gone Blink, Solar Crest into BKB AC or something. Instead, now they don't have a Cuirass because Lina and Monkey King are not buying it. So that's kind of that's actually a pretty big oversight on their part, right? They're running a minus armor strat, and they're running against heroes that deal significant physical damage. So AC is just the perfect item, right? For and against the teams. So should have definitely gone that route on either of their heroes. Okay, big item pickups. Weaver has Ags, Disruptor has Ags, and Alchemist has an Ags in 1 minute 20 seconds, which he will give to Monkey King, I would imagine. Could give it to Lina for the Flame Cloak. The unobstructed movement is really cool if you're playing, whether you're playing carry or caster Lina or whatever. But I do think they want the Monkey King soldiers probably.
I mean, it seems very, very powerful, that's for sure.
Yeah. He's so farmed, then that Ags just increases in value, right? Gets better the bigger you are.
Yeah.
So, I don't think so.
Like you said, once this new Ags is out, like you've got such a huge timing. As we do have a Shivers Guard at the very least coming out on kits, so the DP has a bit more armor, but a bit more utility on his side of things. But still doesn't seem like it's going to be anywhere near enough. Though I say that, Feld have been fighting back.
Yeah, for sure.
Might be a smoking coming.
I mean, I do think Kits is reaching kind of a breaking point, right? Now where he's tanky enough. He's closing in on level 20. He obviously has the health talent from level 15. He has 40 armor, because he has the blast rig as well. It all adds up pretty quickly. Like he's combating what the enemy team is throwing at him pretty well with his itemization and the neutral item. So he's not gonna be like safe to go in, but he can tank some hits now.
Funnick.
Oh.
Does that himself.
What are you waiting for?
You do also have an AC onto the Abaddon, so
Yep. So the first AC of the game coming out on Felt.
very strange indeed. Get immune. There's going to be a Light Strike Array. It will land on the Abaddon, so maybe a very early borrowed time to be popped, and it will be.
Oh, this is actually really good news for Bait.
It certainly is. Static Storm. Oh, no!
No way!
He BKBs in time and gets out. How does that even happen? Fade. He's going to go down. Still the chase is on Funnick. He does actually land on the right Abaddon, and he doesn't have borrowed time right now, so Hit Immune. Oh, Hit Immune's gone. See you later, buddy.
Wow, that was messy. So first they failed the combo on Abaddon, right? He's Yuled. I guess Disruptor wasn't in range in time because he has Ags. So if he just places that under the Yules, the Abaddon dies, right? You can't BKB out of the Yules when you're Disruptor ultied, I believe. It's an aura that lands on you first.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. It's one of the few things I believe you can't counter the BKB setup, right? I think so.
It's hard to know because I remember reading that BKB can pretty much be casted in any instance after Yules, but you might be right.
I think the way Static Storm is coded is that it places an aura on the ground, and if you're inside that aura, even if you're Yuled, I think the aura is still applied to you.
Okay.
So as soon as you land, you're automatically muted. I think so. Otherwise, you would also be able to counter the Naga Disruptor combo with the BKB, right? And nobody ever seems to pull that off, so I think you can't.
Okay. You might be right on that one.
But yeah, they messed that up, but they still got the kill. So in the end, it didn't really matter. They were able to chase him down with the Glimpse. They now find a catch bottom with the Weaver. Kits.
He will get his BKB off and should be just fine.
Oh, not in range for the bash there. Stonebank could have got lucky with one swing.
And they always do these pos ones.
Yeah.
Bait. They're still going to go for this tier 2 bottom tower.
Well, make quick work of that with this damage. My goodness.
Third Roshan is up, so we're in a very similar situation as last time. Roshan's available and it's freely to be taken by Bait if they wanted to. But
they should 100% Rosh right now. It's the best play in the game.
But do they know, is the question.
It looks like they are at least considering the possibility. Somebody pinged the pit. Then he's going to push out top. This is the way to do it. You push out top. You push out this next mid wave with Stonebank. You stay tight with the other heroes, connect with the Monkey King, and then your whole team crosses over. You see Dendi drawing a line to the outpost. I don't know if they're going to go and build a campfire there or what the plan is, but maybe they want a ward. But anyway, they should know that this Rosh is up, and it should be theirs. Felt have to contest this, obviously, but it is pretty dangerous.
Stonebank?
See, Stonebank is placing some monkeys here on the high ground. I like this. He's making this hard to penetrate wall.
Static Storm, going to be drop catching 2 of them. Most importantly, they've got Hit Immune in that. So Albino Zebra, he was the first one to go down as Hit Immune. Is able to back his way out. Bait. I mean, they're feeling a little bit hesitant after last time around to try for this Roshan.
I still think it's just free, but yeah, okay, now they're gonna go. something to keep in mind is there's a lot of value in one of them going Silver Edge now, actually, because they can Yule the Abaddon, and then they can Static Storm him and break him and just kill him, right? I would like to see that item purchased by Stonebank, to be honest. I think it's better than the Bloodthorn he's buying, because the only problem they have in the fights is that there's this enemy frontliner that they don't feel like they can go on first, but what if they could? Then suddenly nobody on the Dire can frontline anymore, if not even Abaddon is safe. We saw that combo pulled off by Shopify Rebellion 2 days ago. Arteezy Shadow Fiend bought Silver Edge and played with Static Storm from Fly, and they just killed Abaddon from full health.
Amazing.
Together. So could definitely itemize that this way, this game if they wanted. You could also buy Silver and Lina. I mean, that's also completely fine if you want to itemize something else in the Monkey King. Either way, looks like they're going to be just fine without it, but it would maybe make their game a little bit easier. Funnick, by the way, now eyeing up AC. So they will be getting that item, identifying that they were missing that in their arsenal.
Oh, here we go. Smoke up, mid lane is where they're at. 4 Aghanim Scepters available on the side of Bait. The only one that doesn't have one right now is Funnick, which makes enough sense. Felt gonna get to the low ground, but won't run into Bait. As Bait, they're gonna head up towards the top lane, and well, to be fair, like they've already found the tier 3 tower, so they want to try and make it easy for themselves. Just maybe pop the Wukong's command and take a very easy Rax.
Yeah. Is Monkey King 25? No, not yet.
Maybe hold out in that case.
I don't know. I don't know if he needs to. I think he can just go and hit it, right? Killing him twice with the Aegis on him is very difficult for the Dire. They're going to have to expend key cooldowns to kill him the first time. So I think this Rax is just not defendable, honestly. The problem is they have so much time on the Aegis that they can go for a second lane as well. You're going to have to defend at some point. Now they're going to choose to do it after losing a Rax and a half in the top lane. This is a surprising move for sure.
Stonebank, he will get silenced up immediately. Meanwhile, on the backside, they do find Stominant, so no time-lapse to come out. But Dendi, it's Dendi time. He takes down the Beastmaster so darn quickly. Meanwhile, though, the Aegis is gone. Stonebank, he has lost that first life. But you've lost the borrowed time as well on this Abaddon. So Hidamune does back his way out. And in the meantime, Kids is caught out. There are no buybacks available, Cinder, and that's problematic. How do you defend now?
That's what we call game ogre. Pretty much. 3v5 for a minute.
It's tough.
It's Dendi time.
It's Dendi time indeed. Tier 3 tower. Under siege. Solji. No, going to try and slow it down. Not really much he can do on the Rubik as Bait obviously coming to play today. At least for game number 1, they'll find a secondary Rax. Felt there is some hope they could still defend against Megas. Like, this third Rax may not necessarily go down considering you almost have the Beastmaster up, but even then, it's still pretty tough without having an Exo DP to really get the damage you need.
It's just falling so fast. Every second Monkey King is standing here, it's also just getting harder and harder to deal with him. It's going to push this with the Monkey King Ags.
Lowdown's so annoying as well with the glimpses as Roar is there. They've caught the Monkey King. That's the big target. But can they actually take him down? He's just so tanky. He'll turn back around now. He'll get the BKB off and they can't fight him. He's 1v5ing them basically. Oh boy, it's just so demoralizing. So the glimpse back is there. They found the Beastmaster. They've got Solji. Kits is trying his absolute best to fight back. But Stonebank does not care. He just keeps going. That's another gone. Fate is gone. Kits is gone. And everyone is just gone. Bye-bye. GG will play this call. And Bait, I mean, they had a few moments where it looked like they were looking maybe a little bit rocky, but overall, a clean game by Bait against the side of Felt.
I think if this game is anything to go by, there might be a little bit more of a class difference between...